Hello, Scott Corey with Creative Habitats. Let us start the presentation. So I'm going to start in the front yard, talk about a couple of the added items that we discussed, and then I will finish off with the pool fill-in and where we can go after that, after the pool fill-in is done, how we can make that space into an amazing entertainment space. So in your front yard, you've got a decent foundation here. The biggest thing that I see, if we can make your grass and your bed lines look better, this property will have so much more curb appeal. And that's simply done by creating beds around the trees, expanding the beds in the front, this clump of volunteer trees, expanding some beds there. And then I also would recommend, if you ever anticipate having a sidewalk through here, make it a little bit more of a flowing sidewalk that leads to the front door to the mailbox. So this could be a nice addition to the front and to the way it defines everything. So same thing, just seen from a different perspective where those bed lines have been expanded. One of the other things I saw, you've got some okay plant material up front here. It's just overgrown and does not look purposeful. So this is a suggestion of what we can do. The camellia, do an interesting topiary with it. These guys cut them down lower, the lower petal, let them get taller, almost like a sort of like an awning over your window. And the same thing over here. Let it become an awning over your window. Moving along, this is a dead dogwood. While we're there, we can take that out. This is where materials will be staged. Please note that there will be some damage to the driveway with trucks and skid steers and everything going through there. We'll open up a hole in here for access with our machinery. We're going to need to take out a section of this along with this post. This post will remain, but we will need to take this out. It would be good for the guy who did such a fantastic job building this fence to put it back because he will give you the same quality. I doubt we'll do that because we're landscapers. Access will be through this area through here. Okay, as an aside, one of the things I thought of is if you did another building, how do people circulate to this building? The obvious was to go down here and then go this way. But I was like, you know what? We start cutting your property up with a lot of different pathways. So my recommendation is that the pathway come through here, down these steps, and then a walkway to the future rental property. Just another perspective of the same thing. And eventually, if you did a lot of trees through here, like understory trees, this would be just an absolutely amazing area without the need to do any kind of lawn maintenance on it. This is just a perspective from the rental property of what that would look like, the pathway. The second thing we talked about was grading around this. Make sure there's a positive grade through here. I would recommend adding some downspouts eventually. What we can do while we're here is add in some 4-inch pipe. So if they do put downspouts, they can just tie into those downspouts and that water is carried away, keeping water away from your foundation as much as possible. So let's get to the main part. Filling in this pool. So we would collapse the concrete into the pool. We talked about, since this is gunite, leaving the gunite because it's probably going to take more time and resources to destroy that. But instead of fighting it, work with it and then just cover this over with gravel. One other thing too, I suspect this step is on top of this concrete. When this comes out, this step will probably get messed up. But I'll show you how we work with that later. So finished product is what you see here. It would just be a large area of gravel. How do we turn a large area of gravel into something beautiful? This is how we do it. So what I would recommend doing is adding a couple boulders here. We talked about a fire pit. It could be an elaborate fire pit like what you see here, or it could be a simple round fire pit. It just depends on how much money you want to put into it. We can get a little bit fancier than that. In this space, we can cover it over with flagstone that matches these two spaces. We can add in some beds through here. And then ultimately what we can do is we can plant this. Possible plants, Bernera. We can add in some flagstone steps that lead to your rental property. There's hostas and ferns around your boulders. These are Japanese maples. I didn't draw this one in so you can see behind it. but Japanese maples and all of this, we'd put lighting on the boulders. We'd put lighting on either side of these steps. We would put up lighting on your Japanese maples. This would be an absolutely amazing space to hang out in at night. So those are my ideas on what we can do with this piece of pool area, transforming the pool, a negative, not so fun space that's an eyesore in your backyard, into a positive that would be an absolute asset to your backyard and to your property. Thank you so much, Corey, Creative Habitats Landscaping.